Michigan ranks near the bottom when it comes to defending the rights of poor people. That's why lawmakers created the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission, which has laid out a set of minimum standards for lawyers who get these cases. Things like basic education and training, requiring that jails and courthouses have confidential space for lawyers to meet with their clients. Lawyers would have to meet those clients soon after being appointed and have access to experts and investigators when needed. And defendants get to have a lawyer at all critical stages of the case, including their first appearance.
It's hard to debate that people charged with a crime are entitled to things like meeting their lawyer early in that process and having a confidential place to gather and to make sure that that lawyer is properly trained to represent them.
Counties and courts statewide submitted 132 plans to show how they'll meet the new standards and how much it will cost. The total, an additional $87 million. West Michigan counties alone are asking for $22.6 million to meet the new standards. That's 2.5 times more than they're spending now.
We need 5 deputies in order to make these plans work.
The changes go beyond adding lawyers and training. Kent County courts are working together to meet the new standards, but a third of the money would go to the jail, which plans to reopen the old visitors area for lawyers and add 5 deputies to get inmates back and forth.
It was due to safety, security, and budget constraints that we closed this area. Now, as a result of having to open this area back up because of the new standards, we need to have the funding to allow for that to take place.
Kalamazoo County would switch to a public defender system, but of the $4 million grant request, nearly $800,000 would go to construct confidential meeting rooms at the courthouse and jail.
We actually have to relocate the entire detectives bureau. So the only other option is to have the in-custodies sitting right next to detectives while they're speaking to counsel.
Right now, Ottawa County believes that we are providing constitutionally sufficient counsel, public defense, for everybody that needs it in our county.
Still, Ottawa County would create a public defender's office to meet the new standards, but only if lawmakers find the money.
So if we set up a public defender office in year 1, and because the legislature approves the funding, and then in year 2 or in year 5 or year 10, we've got different legislators in place, and they say, oh, money's no longer here, we're not appropriating it this year, you're sort of on your own in Ottawa County or anywhere else. That's a real concern.
I do think that we have historically not provided the tools to our appointed criminal defense attorneys.
State Representative Rob Verheulen of Walker is the vice chair of the House Appropriations Committee. He says lawmakers are going to have some tough questions when it comes to justifying these expenses.
The legislators are elected by the people to make those financial decisions, and we're not simply a rubber stamp for an appointed commission.
The Indigent Defense Commission knows it's under the microscope. Last week it met and sent most of the plans back to the counties, looking for more detail to justify the costs.
We expect the legislature will ask very thorough questions on how we have reviewed these plans and the criteria under which we are recommending that they be funded by the legislature. We'll be prepared to do that because we've been conducting such thorough review all along.